Hey, what's going on, guys? Alex here today, and today I have another part to my Hicapa project. I've recently yesterday I just got this in the mail. This is the Airsoft Masterpiece aluminum R7 grip for Hicapa, obviously. As you guys know about Airsoft Masterpiece stuff, it's very high quality. This aluminum grip is no exception. Like I said, fully constructed out of aluminum. The only parts being, not aluminum is these rubber grips that go all the way around. Really comfy grip. This is easily my favorite design out of all of them. This is a complete copy of the Prime aluminum grip, which retails for like $350, which is why this is clearly the easier option to go with. It goes for about 207 right now off of Alpha Airsoft. These do normally go for a little more, about 260, 270, but this was on sale and I couldn't say no to it. The packaging that they come in is actually rather nice. You have this plastic box here, which doesn't look like it's too secure, but you do have this molded piece on the inside that fits your grip and your mag well, and also you have a little baggie of all your other good stuff in there. So overall packaging, 9 out of 10. I like it, kept my stuff safe, so I'm not worried about that. Moving on to the grip though, you do have this really nice undercut right here, which is going to be great for actually gripping. It's actually way more comfortable than the straight cut of the TM grips. This one I did an undercut on this one myself, but not a like corner undercut, just a trigger guard undercut. So not as comfortable as this grip, but definitely still not bad. One thing you're gonna notice too, you have these little tiny what look to be almost screws. If my camera will focus, probably not. There we go. They're not screwed in, they're actually just little tabs that you just glue in place. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of cheated. This isn't like an out of the box kind of thing. I did do the installation already just to make sure everything worked, so I didn't embarrass myself on video. And I did have to do a little modification with some of the stock TM parts I still have. This grip safety here, a little bit too wide, it didn't move freely, so I just took some sandpaper and got that down. Actually looked kind of nice, so whatever. It'll probably look fine if you get the Airsoft Masterpiece one, but those are $85, so that's going to be a little bit in the future. Other than that though, no serious issues whatsoever. Everything else pretty much just dropped in together, but I'm going to show you exactly how to install these and kind of show you what the gun looks like after that. So with the grip here, just bare, you're basically going to take your trigger and your trigger arm, and that's going to go straight into here. And one thing you want out of your trigger and your trigger bar is for it to move freely. If you have it upside down like this, you should be able to just drop it without any sort of resistance. And then after that, you want to drop in your magazine release, which they do include because it is proprietary to this grip. It is aluminum, pretty nice quality one. It's a little rough, but overall it still works fine, so it's not going to hurt your magazine changes. You do want to put this in kind of like this, and then you're actually going to have to turn it until it gets into its spot. I don't know why you have to do this, but it doesn't go just straight in, and once you get that all turned, it should just drop in. After that, you have this little flathead screw on the inside of there. You don't just turn it like you normally would. You actually have to push up on the magazine release a little bit, so lift it up a little bit, then turn, then it'll clip in place like that, and then your trigger bar stays in place. Now on this side, you're gonna have this little extension piece right here. You're just going to drop this guy onto the left side of the grip, making sure it's flush on both sides. Then they give you a little Allen key or Allen head here. Drop that in. It's a 1.5 millimeter, so you're going to tighten that down. You don't want to do too tight, just enough for it to grab. If you're worried about it loosening itself, you can use blue Loctite. Blue Loctite, it's not permanent, but it does hold your threads in rather well. I use it on all my hop-up units and stuff like that, just because I know I can undo it, but it does hold my hop-up unit together. Because on some hop-up units, I don't know if you've never noticed, but sometimes they'll loosen themselves while you're shooting. It's annoying. But now it's all together. You can see it moves freely. It's decently smooth. There could be a little more polishing done to it, but overall I'm happy with it. After this, what you're gonna do is actually drop this onto your frame. This is the easiest way that I found to do it without putting everything on spring tension. You can drop in your hammer assembly and everything like that, but that just makes it a little harder. So once you drop this on to your frame, all good there. There's one screw that goes in the front here, and that's just gonna be this little Phillips head. Always helps to have magnetic screwdrivers to kind of help you drop stuff into place. Whoops. Tighten that down. You got a good tug on there. You are screwing into metal now, unlike the old plastic one, so you can torque it down pretty hard without it, risking it stripping and everything like that. Now, as you have this guy here, you're actually going to go ahead and drop in your leaf spring, and then on your leaf spring, where your leaf spring sits on, there's let's see if I can get a good angle on this. There's two spots that the leaf spring sits. You have this guy right here on the right side, which is your disconnector, and then your inside here, which is going to be your sear. So you have the two arms on the right and in the middle and the right side that are going to sit on top of those. I found it easiest just to get your hammer bar out of the way, or your hammer strut. Drop that in place, and then there you go. That's it. Once you have it all together, you can test, see, make sure you did it right. If you didn't do it right, obviously the hammer isn't gonna lock and stuff like that, so you kind of know. This part is a total pain in the ass. I'm not actually gonna take it apart, but it's real simple on paper. It's just kind of hard to get this pin in place. So you're gonna drop in your hammer spring with the little plug on top, and then you actually give you this pin that goes into this spot right here. Focus. 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 There we go. So, little pin right there. I didn't actually get it all the way in, but it doesn't have to be super all the way in. But you do have to punch that through some good amount of material. It's kind of hard to do at first, but I'm sure it'll loosen them up for time. Once this is good to go, you're actually gonna, what I like to do is just flip the grip upside down, hold down your grip safety, which also holds down your leaf spring, and then you're gonna put this in its rails here. Light it down. Now you might have to take something small and actually lift up your hammer or your hammer strut, and then you're gonna hold this all together with your thumb or whatever finger, and then you're gonna drop on your mag weld that they include, which is a decently nice mag weld. It's not steel, but that's gonna make it way more expensive. It's aluminum, really lightweight actually, though, which is kind of what I'm going for with this build. You'll notice on the inside here, there's this little shelf inside there, and then you have this little nub on the outside of the grip. You're gonna line those two up, and then drop everything in place. You want to make sure those are all lined up, or it's not going to go together correctly. And then after that, you're going to drop in your pin, and then you might just have to tap it a little bit for it to get in its place. A little more if you want to flush on the sides. Oh, too far. So there's that, and now you can test everything, make sure it works, your hammer stays down. And once you make sure that your hammer and everything works, then you actually, oh, I forgot my grip screws, which you definitely should remember to do first before putting your entire hammer assembly on spring tension. So go ahead and screw these guys in. Make sure they're pretty tight so they don't, unscrew themselves while you're playing. And then grip safety works, hammer works, trigger moves freely, magazine works freely. You're gonna drop your slide on. Everything's good there. Now to show you some magazine compatibility with these guys. I know that the Prime ones and I think the AKA grip aluminum grips are a little picky with some magazines. So I actually have basically one of each here. I've got Pro in, I have TM silver mags, and TM black mags. To let you guys know, you do have to use smaller base plates if you have 5.1 magazines. So I actually have a 4.3 base plate on this one, and this one I'm just going to take the base plate off. So 4.3 base plates on a 5.1 magazine do work with this mag well, but standard 5.1 magazines or 4.3 magazines with their base plate does not work. So with the Pro In magazine, goes in, it's a little rough at the very top, but it gives you a nice click, and they still do drop out completely free. Moving on to TM Chrome magazines with the 4.3 base plate, going very smoothly, almost no drag, and they still do free fall. As for black ones, these are probably the smoothest of them all. And then show you that they all do work. Make sure chamber is clear. Silver and Pro In. So those are all good to go, no complaints. Now to move on to just the nitty and gritty of this grip. To be honest, I'm not incredibly happy with the way that the grip tape was done. I just feel that it definitely could have been better. There's a tiny little, I don't know if you probably can't see it, there's a little raised section right here, which I'm not super happy about. Also, the adhesive they use is pretty crappy and actually folded up a little bit on this side. Also, you can kind of just see all of the the burn marks where they did just to make it smoother, but it makes it look worse in the end. On the bottom here, it doesn't look too good, but I mean your hand's gonna be covering that for the most part. And my last complaint, out of the packaging there is some you probably can't see it with this lighting, but there's a little bit of wear marks back here, but nothing crazy, to be completely honest. It is the cheaper of the aluminum grips on the market. Still expensive for the most part, but definitely on the cheaper side. Other than that, I'm completely happy with the grip. I'm kind of going to work out these little air bubbles and stuff like that with the grip tape. But overall, I really like it. It's super comfy. If you have the money for an aluminum grip, I highly recommend it. They do drop onto TM frames. I have tried this as well, but on the Airsoft Masterpiece frame, of course, they go together really, really well. Small little gap up here, but nothing that's going to hinder the what's the word? Mechanics of the gun. The gun still does work completely fine. Okay, so that's going to be it for this part 2 of my Hicapa project, and I'll see you guys on the next part.